Hey there everybody, thanks for watching again. I'm continuing my How to Draw a Person series, and so now we're doing the back view. I already did the front view, that was the first lesson, and I'll be using those same lines to form the outline of my figure. And you can find the full-length version of these drawing lessons at my website, muraljoe.com. So now we're going to start on the back view, and I'm using that same method again. We're going to do our line to form the hips first. So a line, I'm thinking right here above center, and just slightly bent inward like this. And then I'll put the next line, that is the waist to the armpit, going more outward so that we can put more muscle on this one and see what all of the back muscles look like. So 2 lines, 1, 2, 1, 2, equal lines, and then I'm ready to put the shoulders in. So let's go like this, and I want to go half of this height right here, maybe about up to there for the shoulders, so half of this height of this line. And I think that this is about right there. And then I want to see a concave that goes over. We did have a bump on the collarbone when we did the less muscular form. So here we've got muscles coming off the top of the collarbone and out from the side of the collarbone. So it leaves a concave right there. Here's this muscle right here. So you can see on my hand that this part of the hand kind of bumps out this way from this line that's the arm. So that's normal to see that. So let's go over here and put the back of the hand now halfway to that line, or you can just, compare it to the other hand. And then I'm going to go halfway again, slight bend on those fingers. Couple lines over, and we're making the pinky. 1, 2, 3. Put it right under that thumb. And then 1, 2, and 1, 2. We've got fingers behind fingers. All we want to do is make sure that we have the knuckle that bends the most. So this will all look a lot better. I've got kind of a funny bend in the fingers there, don't I? Let's get a little more straight on this one. So if you don't get anything else on the knuckles, just make sure this knuckle right here, the second knuckle down, has the most bend to it. And then you have a relaxed position on the hand. It's normal for that knuckle to bend the most, because look, when you squeeze your hand, look which knuckle does most of the bending. It's that second one down. 45-degree angle from this corner like that divides 2 muscles. And so if you just put an oval shape right in here, it leaves empty space between this muscle and this muscle. See this empty space that I left in between my shapes? That will be visible and create a concave where you see light and shadow on a back, especially if it's a very muscular back. It's the top of the shoulder blade, and you can see the flat part of it between these muscles. So now I put a slightly curved line here going up toward the armpit like this. There's a line that comes right in here. So this shoulder blade, curves a little bit out from this shape right here. It goes over like this, and then this muscle goes right across there. So we have a line here. It meets this line that intersects it right there. So 1, 2. Most of the time it just looks like one curved line. 1, 2, but it's 2 muscles. Whatever. It's not like that matters a lot. But all of this knowledge, if you take the time to learn it, it can be really helpful when you're trying to put some basic shadows. And I'm going to show you how I build a much more basic drawing from this knowledge after we get these muscles in place. And how about some hair? Let's put some lines from where it's growing. We'll put a little ponytail going this way, and then coming down, going up like this. Let's make multiple sections in this. Up here, we'll go that direction. I'm going to swoop it out a little more. There, see that light that's left in between? All I need to do is make sure that these lines really point to the same direction that they're coming from. Here's where they're growing, here's where they're going, and I just make sure they point to each other. And then I'll make the hairline right down here across the neck. Maybe I drop down a tiny bit between these two muscles. I'm going to point up to where the hair might be tied back. Diagonal line right across this circle up behind the ear, and I'm just pointing right to this top of the ponytail. Comes down in front of the ear, like that. And then we go this way. Okay, let's go like this and put lines going to those lines. And you just make them pointing to each other. And we've got that light across the middle again. And we have a more three-dimensional head because of it. So now I'm just putting shadow where I want it to look like it goes under. And maybe bump it up off the head a little so that the head has got some size to it. Now let's put the muscles and bones on the back, just like we did with this one. So let's find the center line. When a person is kind of slouched, we might have a slight turn. So let's say that we've got the middle of the back just ever so slightly turning this way, coming down across the middle, and then bending this way. And then we'll put the butt right there. So we've got just a slight set of curves. It's good to put that in place so that on something that's not just a straight symmetrical pattern, it's easier to find where all of these parts might be. Maybe I'll start my shadow above the knee so that I have that small amount of muscle tone showing above the knee. And then I'll put shadow below the calves. So again, I'll use lines like this. And it's a higher muscle on the outside, lower muscle on the inside. So you can think about that when you're adding shadow. Then up in here, I might go darker at the armpit and slope that shadow right in toward this line here. This kind of forms a waist from the back view, is the way this armpit to waist slope connects with this shadow going out toward the hips. It forms the narrower part on the back of the waist. If I go under the shoulder blades with some shadow, I can do the same kind of thing here. Watch, shadow on this side of the spine. Creates some three-dimensional shape to the back. I can put a slight line right here if I want to put more muscle on the shoulder blade, just like this one. It's this muscle. Here's a wrinkle. Let's put another one right here, not pointing the same direction because I want them to look kind of offset. Maybe a couple in here. I don't want a lot. A couple will do. And then I'm going to put some wrinkles going like this. So one going that direction and a little line on top of it. I'll put another one right here. So I'm thinking this is a ridge, this is a valley. So let's put a real slight line there, and then maybe a deeper, heavier shadow going like this and bending over toward the side, and then a little line under it. Maybe a line here and right here for a ridge that's coming right down the middle of the shirt. Maybe it squiggles like that as it meets these lines. Just thinking through the shape of a shadow. Now these will go more downward and be less extreme as well. So I'll put a shadow like this, but that shadow is not as dark. Maybe I'll put another shadow right here. Again, not quite as dark. So the angle and the darkness of these really makes a difference, I think. Okay, so I've got wrinkles on that area. You know, if these jeans are very tight fitting, there's not many more wrinkles to do. It's up to you, but a couple lines here, just like we did on the front view, wherever I have bends in the leg, I might put just a few double lines going across to represent a slight ripple, ridge on on that clothing.